International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking with the theme Breaking the Chain, Prevention, Treatment and Recovery for All. I, on behalf of the Prodigal Son family and all the collaborating partners, Department of Social Welfare, Narcotics Control Bureau, and court comprises of the key stakeholders here in the department. District administration is here and all the departments within the narcotics committee. Fight against drug abuse and illicit trafficking is not just a one-day affair or few hours affair. It's a 24/7 affair, and we know it. We're running a rehab center and we know it's a struggle for many families across Nagaland, for many young people, for families, for people who are struggling with alcohol and other drugs. We know it's not just a disease, but it's a warfare against the enemy to humanity. So every one of us who are here, from the government departments, from the churches, from the NGOs, from the media, from other like-minded organizations, from the civil societies, from the educational institutions, we are all here because we know that we have a role to play. It's not just the role of a department or an organization, but it is the role of each and every one of us. Every single individual matter in the fight against drug abuse in our society. For the last so many years, we have lost many of our loved ones. Many of us, I don't think there's not many family left untouched by this menace of drug abuse and addiction in our society. So every one of us are affected in one way or the other. And if all of us are affected, it is the role of each and every one of us to fight against this menace. And today we're here accepting the fact, accepting the responsibility that we all have a role to play.
Good afternoon to all. The United Nations has come up with a very beautiful theme that implies love and compassion in this year's observation. Breaking the chains, prevention, treatment, and recovery for all. It has no punitive intentions, and it's all about care and treatment. When it comes to drug trafficking and drug abuse, they run parallel. They are two sides of the same coin. They cannot be separated. But the way we, especially the government and even the NGOs and societies, approach these issues has taken a diverse line over the years. Abuse or drug addiction is being treated more as a health issue rather than a criminal act, a criminal activity. Previously, drug addiction or consumption was considered a crime, a criminal act. And so, accordingly, even in the NDPS Act under Section 27, a punishment was prescribed for consumption. So if you were caught consuming, or if you are an addict and you are arrested, you face 1 year punishment with fine. But over the years, as I stated, there has been a significant shift from a strictly punitive approach to one that emphasizes compassion and healthcare, as is evident from this year's theme. The concept now is that addiction is not a criminal act. It is a health issue that needs a medical care and a human approach. So in line with this concept, changes were also introduced in the NDPS rules, in which Section 64A was added in about 2-3 years back. Under this act, if an addict or any addict who is charged with an offense punishable under Section 27 or with offense punishable under punishable with small quantity of drugs or the psychotropic substance, if he volunteers to undertake medical treatment in a de-addiction center, he will be immune from punishment. And on the condition that he undergoes the food treatment.
As the day suggests, it is the day against drug abuse, International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. We celebrate every year on 26th of June in order to strengthen action and cooperation in achieving a world free of drug abuse. The United Nations fights against the menace of drug abuse through various bodies and mechanisms. Likewise, in India also, the government of India has adopted a zero tolerance policy against drug trafficking, and we are moving towards drug-free India by 2047 through a three-point strategy. The first one is strengthening of institutional structure, coordination among all anchored agencies, and public awareness campaign. And in order to achieve this policy, a mechanism called NCORD, that is Narco Coordination Center, it was formed in 2016. It aims to enhance coordination among the law enforcement agencies and other stakeholders to effectively combat drug trafficking and substance abuse in India. Later in the year 2019, this NCORD was strengthened again through four-tier system. Two-tier system at the union level, one at the state level headed by Chief Secretary, and one at the district level headed by Deputy Commissioner of the district. Now this NCORD, it focuses on intelligence sharing, coordinated action, capacity building in order to address the challenges that is posed by narcotics and other substance abuses. In Dimapur, in the district of Dimapur, we have so many departments under the banner of NCORD, like the medical department, drugs control, tobacco control, school education, social welfare. Every departments are doing at their capacity, which is against the drug abuse and illicit trafficking. So this medication helps in reducing craving, alleviating withdrawal symptoms, preventing relapse, forming a key part of comprehensive recovery plan. Now, because of the porous nature of our border, especially with Assam, these illicit drugs are being smuggled easily, and it is not only the responsibility of the law enforcement agencies, it is the collective responsibility of all the stakeholders, including civil societies, NGOs, in order to curb the menace of the substance abuse and illicit trafficking. Now, especially the youngsters, who are called the building blocks of the nation, this should be given importance on awareness about the ill effect of drugs and substance abuse, because they are more prone into this. And once a person enters into a substance abuse, especially drugs, it is very difficult to come back from the trap, because tolerance and dependence occurs. Tolerance in a sense, suppose you took 5 milligram of a drug, and it gave you this much effect. Now, tomorrow, even if you take the same dose also, it will not give you the desired effect that you were planning for. So definitely you have to higher the dose in order to get the desired effect. So likewise, it will go on increasing. Now, dependence. Without taking the drugs, you won't be able to live peacefully or normal life, because you will be compelled to take the medicine again and again. So it not only destroys the person who is taking, but slowly by slowly, family problem will arise, and then ultimately the society will suffer. So, and then there is a lot of social stigma associated with this substance abuse also, and therefore, instead of leaving them alone, it is the responsibility of the society to take necessary steps to bring back them to the mainstream, as substance abuse is a social issue, not an individual. And I will end up by saying, say no to the drugs before they say no to your future. Thank you.
Since there's a time constraint, I'll just say I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad that all of you are here. Our first speaker, Mr. MT, he's my senior. He was like, he shone during the mid-80s and early 90s, and I followed very diligently in his footsteps. Late 90s, early 2000s, and also completed my PhD. But to be on the safe side and to have knowledge and experience, I did my PhD not only in brown sugar, but I also accumulated other knowledges like ganja, liquor, pharmaceutical drugs, and all those things. And somehow I managed to survive. That's why I'm standing here with you. Like he said, we addicts tend to be very fatalistic and negative. But he also said that it's a plus point. So I will use that plus point. He dwelt on the schools, on the church, and on the ministry concerned with this. So I will just add on to that. Actually, I wanted to talk on the theme, but as a senior, he said he won't go beyond prevention. I was prepared for prevention, treatment, recovery for all, and beyond that also. I wanted to give you the formula for the miracle cure, but I will leave all that since I can't go beyond my seniors. So, regarding educational institutions, I believe there are some materials dealing with drug addiction, but if all the schools could have materials dealing with this, that is, soul steering, heart touching materials regarding addiction and prevention, then I believe that would go a long way. During my school days, even I had 3 subjects in English. English 1, English 2, alternative English, and even 2 subjects in mathematics. Mathematics 1, advanced mathematics, and 3, mathematics 2. The struggle I had to go through, I have to cram all that into my mind, plus continue with my PhD. So it was really a great struggle. So if we could have so many subjects, I think our school board could also inculcate one on addiction and the fallout, the outcome about it. And regarding the church, my senior was a bit critical of the church. So I will follow him and try to be very critical of the church. Unlike what he says, there was a time when the churches came in waves during our struggling days. They came. But we saw in them that they were not comfortable within our group. They were just going through the motions to tick off the annual calendar. You know, in a church, there's a calendar. This year we have to visit one rehab center. To tick that off, they came to our center. That's what I observed. They were not very comfortable. If a guy all the way from America could come to our land, to a land of savages and hate hunters, and could adapt, adjust, and become comfortable within those group of savages and transform our lives, I think it's not very difficult for the church to feel comfortable among the users community also. The users who are not savages but your own brothers and sisters, husbands, wives, whatnot. The church did come. They came with pray. There is hope, power in prayer. Jesus saves, John 3:16, and they handed out a blue book containing the New Testament, plus the Psalms and Proverbs, Gideon's International Bible or something like that. I accumulated 6 or 7 of them. Each visit, I got one of that blue book. These days, even that wave has stopped. It's not coming. I believe they are so busy in acquiring land and real estate, church building, and all. So I don't care, because like our guys sang, now we are addressing directly. We are directly contacting Jesus to turn the wine into water again. We don't want anyone anymore. We are directly contacting the Lord since we cannot handle it anymore, we want the wine turned back into water again. That's what we did, that's what we sang about. And that's where we get our joy from. And also, what I find disheartening regarding the ministry and the concerned department is that so many of you, all the beautiful bright minds, administrative officers, social renowned workers, you come together, sit under a table, and then all you can come up with are slogans: say no to drugs, drug thrills but guilt. I would rather you guys sit together and come up with schemes, with projects that involves the entire community, not only the drug users. Because you might think that recovery for all is addressing the addicts. It's not that. Recovery for all concerns not only the addict, but the entire community. Because an addict, he will come to a rehab center, and if he is really, had this urge to change, transform, then he will go out a transformed person with a much better perspective of life, with maturity. But he will be facing the same mistrust, resentment, anger from his family, from his community. So recovery for all, I believe, concerns everyone. Everyone should, the community, from the school, the churches, like my friend said, the church is an entity that reaches everyone, especially in our state. It's even bigger than the government, the church. It can perform miracles right in front of us if only the churches are willing. They should be able, they should have the courage to come out from their comfort zone, raise up their hands and surrender and say, this is a new topic for us, a new field for us, so we need assistance. And how do you go like, yo, the church? I'm not criticizing the church, I'm criticizing the church. I have nothing personal against the church, but I have everything against the church. From my using days till today, of course I was baptized by a church. I was too young to realize the impact of that baptism. I just went there and somebody tried to drown me. I struggled and then I came out baptized. I didn't even know the implication of that. So I guess I can be labeled as a Christian on my report card. Otherwise, I'm too far away from that life. I hardly go to a church. I can count the number of times I have been inside a church. One was during my brother's wedding. Obviously I had to be there. And my cousin's wedding and all. Christmas and New Year too, we had to pursue our PhD, so church was totally out of the question. So during all those years, we saw, but we heard more about the churches conducting seminars on addiction and all also during our struggling days. But all the individuals who attended those were only those who used to come regularly to the church. I was one who never went to church and I was struggling with addiction. That seminar regarding addiction was for me. And if I saw the board about a seminar on addiction on that particular church, I would definitely not go. There was no one, nobody came up to me and said, hey, this is for you, let us go together. The church, as I said, to have a tick on their annual calendar. Don't do that. You will fry and duplicate oil. When you go to heaven, and after the Misa, you are going to hell. So, another whole day, Kwaya said, now, I have wasted so many of my prime years struggling with this issue. There was, the rehab centers were quite new for us at that time. So, we didn't even know what withdrawal was. We just got sick, we just got angry, we just got mad at everyone and everything. And we never knew that this was the outcome of it. We just wanted to have fun. But like my friend said, without awareness, how can there be prevention? So awareness should come from all angles, from the school, from the churches, from the ministry, from the concerned departments. Only then can we tackle this subject. That's all. If I stand here for too long, I tend to go on and somebody gets hurt, which I don't care about. Because I got hurt so many times and now I don't care who I hurt. The only thing is I'm still alive, and for that I'm grateful to my direct link, Jesus. Thank you so much.
Anda mota ekta tu what time butu khai gina hai aru gorte aise kole complete maki ke marta hai sabji ki bana diya dile bhi complete to maki to baba to aaj to anda bana de koi gina butu kha ke bole bhati jaisi hoise bhati jai gina adam de ama to bapna kore gina anda aaj bhi boil korle to kle fry korana kobo और फ्राई करे बोले के लिए बॉयल कराना कबले আছে পুরা একটা বয়েল করব একটা ফ্রাই করব কিনা দুইটা রাখছি কইছে तो बाबा है ना अंडा बॉयल दिशले के लिए फ्राई करा ना कोपरा फ्राई करा भी दिशे कुछ आमा तो ना तो इतु दिन दिबी बाबा तो इतु बॉयल करा होला तो फ्राई करूबा लागे इतु फ्राई करा होला तो बॉयल करूबा लागे कुछ आमा ना लाइफ टी आमा खान लाइफ टी we have to be truthful आरो आमी কি আছে হুসানো কইছে কইলে তো সদায় আমি তো চেঞ্জেস তো নাই will never change মই কান truthful থাকবা লাগে earlier speaker একটা প্রা কয় নিছিনা good is the enemy of the best best is the enemy of good hey अपना बाल तक बोले good will always fight against you to become best so that is nature why there is a my enemy to know like because you are better that's why good wanted to be like you that's why he's struggling to fight against you so itu pra anxiety নহলে tu pra kiba hobole tu nai ro you are the best tu pra manu kan tuma opor kiba to kotigen আমার লাগ ঘর মানবি এতে আইডিয়ান থাকেছে তাই খান জানিব মই তো বাবা তো 1996 পা আরাছে কলে বি বিফোর দ্যাট মই কিসা একটা কম ড্রাগ এডিক্টলা মই খান টাইম দি ড্রাগ চাইছে রে 1980 তো ড্রাগ আই কেনা ডিমাপুরটি আই আহা তো পয়লা পয়েন্টস না ফরগেট अबाउट আদার্স কলে বি হিরোইনি আহা তো एक टाका और 2 टाका नो इनिका करके राउंड करके ना पैसा तो मुक्ति राखी ना खाई थाके प्राणा खा थाका कान तो जानिबो इनिका करके खाई थाके ना मणिपुर होतो ती ताती खाइले भी पुलिस भी न धरे कोन भी नय थाका मानी অলপ বাহার দি যাব খান হি খায় আর তো অলপ স্ট্যান্ডার্ড আছে ভাবে থাকিছে रो তাই খান খাই কিনে ইদি হবলে থাকা भी না জানে তাই খান भी प्रॉब्लम होबले भी ना जाने खाई के ना यदि कोई के ना बीमार शुरू हो जाए शोरबल ले थका कान some lucky guys few of them are alive I think पैसा रोल कर के ना 1 টাকা तो ये लाओ सिगरेट फुल प्राय निका बर्न कर के ना खाए इनिका कर के पाछा थी ना थाकले तू फुल ती काला हुआ भी इनिका कर के ना खाए मैं भी दिखसे तो लेकिन मैं तो खाए itu नाखा जेने सासे अपना भी नाखा भी साथी खान के नाखा बोले दुख तो ना पाबो काटमा तुमान होय के মই पी क्या की पैसे अपना इत्या अगस्ती नजाजे दिन नमरा तक तू मान तू दुख पाबो खाली तुम्ही बासे कोई ना भावना करबी मान तू सब पी दुख ना पाइस ना थाके बोले everybody they have their own problem so I just wanted to remind you once again that peace is not the absence of trouble, but it is the presence of Christ in the midst of that trouble. Thank you so much.
And let's all say the pledge together. Say yes to life, no to drugs. We realize that drug abuse is increasing in our country, especially among the. We promise that we will not consume any harmful or illegal drugs in any way for any purpose. We will create awareness about the ill effects of drug abuse. Today we pledge that we will stay away from drugs and live a healthy life. Thank you.